Hi, everybody. This is Donna Cronenberg. I know that we're used to having our ESOP anniversary every year, but due to COVID-19, we've had to change things up and are going to be presenting it with this PowerPoint presentation. First of all, I'd like to introduce Shannon Maloney. She's our ESOP advisor at SRP, and Steve Fagioli, who you're familiar with. He is our 401k advisor from SRP.
Thank you so much, Donna. We're really glad to be here to talk about one of the things that we love the most, which is your ESOP plan. And as employee owners, we're hoping that you get a lot out of this presentation, and we're available at any time. Steve and I work together on your 401k and your ESOP plans to help provide you with a holistic retirement benefit and to help create future wealth, which is really the goal of your ESOP plan. First, let's talk a little bit about the success of ESOP companies. Number one, 77% of ESOP companies reported improved productivity with regard to their employee involvement. Second important number is 83% showed stock value increases in the past year. Well, why would that be? I think it's really a testament to the culture of ESOPs and the fact that you're not just working for a paycheck, you're working for your future, and you understand that everything that you do at the company can actually impact that share price. And the last number here is 93% of ESOPs felt that it was a good business decision that has helped the company. I think that really and truly that is a fact that leadership cares for employees by actions. They're sharing employee ownership to build future wealth, and it's inherent in the ESOP and in the culture that's provided at ESOP companies. That's great, but 2020 is a unique year, as we've all been experiencing since March. Very unique in terms of economic, financial, and social. So how has that impacted ESOP companies? First and foremost, ESOP companies are resilient, and they make their communities more resilient. That understanding your impact to the company exceeds just working at the company. So I think that it's important to remember that that idea sharing, the involvement that ESOP owners have with regard to the company spreads across multiple facets. We're seeing that today with ESOP companies and some of the great ideas and the sharing of those ideas that are coming from the bottom up. Secondly, there was a study that found that employee-owned companies were more likely to survive the last two recessions, and we've actually been in 3 recessions since 2000. So the first was the dot-com bubble in 2000 through 2002. The second was the financial crisis of 2008 and 2009. And now we're in the COVID crisis, which is really a health crisis. And we're probably going to see some more impact with regard of a financial crisis. We've had a sharp V recovery in what has happened since February 19th, which was the high of the stock market, down to the low of the stock market on March 23rd. And we've had a V-shaped recovery coming right back. We do think we're going to have a W where it's going to go back down because we haven't really been in a recession. A real sharp downturn and a sharp upturn like that doesn't qualify as a recession. So more to be seen, especially as we're going through another resurgence of COVID cases. Another study, the General Social Survey, found that for the period of 2008's recession, employee owners were 4 times less likely to report being laid off. I think that that's a testament to employee-owned companies really and truly trying to do everything to cut costs, accept employees as possible. So they don't go the easy route and just cut costs and compensation. And finally, research by the NCAO found that millennials who are employee owners have 92% greater net household wealth than their non-employee owner peers. I think that this is, again, that testament to ESOPs with regard to the fact that you're coming for the job, but you're staying for the future. So what's the difference between a typical employee and an ESOP employee? I think that number one, an employee works for a paycheck. Number two, they tend to punch the clock. Number three, they complain about problems versus solving them. And number four, unhappy customers are really not their problem. Employee owners and ESOP employees, number one, work for their future. Number two, they're engaged in the business and making it better. 3, they're proud of CHC. 4, They understand his or her impact on CHC and its stock value. Number 5, they're self-motivated to go the extra mile. And number 6, they know they're part of a team and a good team. That's a real difference and makes a big impact on the share price and how it's grown over the last decade. What is the ESOP's purpose? Why does CHC have an ESOP? Number 1, it helps employees save for retirement without investing your own money. Remember, all contributions to the ESOP are employer money. It helps attract, reward, and motivate and keep employees, and the right employees. It improves the overall performance of CHC. It provides a connection between the individual and company performance. You as an employee actually share in the company's growth. There's an understanding that company profits fund the ESOP, and you contribute every day by delivering industry-leading customer experiences so that we are set apart from our competition, and we appreciate that. What impacts an ESOP? How is that share value determined? Remember, the share value is determined by an independent outside appraiser. It's set apart from the board of directors and set apart from senior leadership. So an outside firm looks at all these different things to determine what the share value will be every year. So they look at cash flow, they look at expenses, they look at sales, they look at inventory, they look at your competitors, they look at your clients, and from that they determine the share price. So one of the most important things that will help you with regard to the ESOP is understanding that revenue minus expenses equals profits, and profits fund ESOP contributions. So when you understand and are involved in keeping costs down, that's cutting the expenses up there, which often results in profit rates at ESOP companies rising faster than revenue. Costs have an immediate impact on share price and value and revenues and profits. So the more you can cut costs, and good costs, the higher your cash flow will be, because remember, it's revenues minus expenses equals profits. What can you do to impact share price? You know that when you go out and buy a new Apple product, it doesn't necessarily impact the share price of Apple. Apple's going to do what the market says it's worth. When you do some of the following things for CHC, it can impact the share price. When you share your ideas for efficiency improvements, when you turn off the lights, when you save the company money, when you treat the company's money like your own money, when you share new ideas and ideas for attracting new clients and continuing to find new ways to be involved, all those have a direct impact on what the overall stock price will be and what will be hopefully higher when you retire. How does the ESOP impact me? I think it's really important to understand that you have an unparalleled opportunity for your future as a result of CHC offering 2 retirement plans that work together to provide for your future. On the left here is the ESOP. It's a company contribution only. It's 6 years of vesting. So you have to be at CHC for 6 years before the entire balance that shows on your statement is yours. If you leave before the 6 years, you're going to leave part of that contribution behind. On average, CHC's contributed at least 5% of compensation to the ESOP and has had an annual stock growth of 7 to 10%. In the 401k plan, it's your contribution only. There's no vesting on your contribution, so if you were to leave, your entire contribution goes with you. You're limited to what you can put into the 401k plan by IRS rules. For 2020, it's $19,500. And if you're over 50, you can contribute an additional $6,500. Market growth depends upon where you invest. In your 401k plan, you have a lot of different things to invest in: stocks, bonds, target date funds, cash, and it depends where you invest, and that will show you how much you have at the end of the year. You know that when you're in your 401k plan and the equity side, it tends to go up and down as the market moves. Because CHC shares are only valued once a year, it's a much steadier rise and ride in that stock market. So again, employees with ESOPs have 2.5 times more in retirement savings than employees at non-ESOP companies. And companies like CHC that offer both an ESOP and a 401k, your retirement plan savings are expected to be even higher. How are the shares calculated? How do I know how many shares I'm going to receive every year? So first, your shares are based upon your total compensation. So if your compensation is $60,000 and the company contribution was 5.6%, the dollars that will be issued to you to buy stock are $3,360. So CHC stock was valued by that independent firm is $112 a share. So that means that of that $3,360 divided by 112, that shows that you're going to have 30 shares allocated to your account this year. They will be added to the other shares in your account. The other thing that's important to know is that you will buy fractional shares. So on your statement, you might see 29.9775, okay, on your statement, because they actually go out to 4 digits. That's a partial share. Those new shares are reflected on your participant statement, and you will see usually an increase in your account balance. Do I pay taxes on my account? No. Your account grows tax deferred just like your 401k. You only pay taxes when you take a distribution from the plan. And in the ESOP, you're only allowed a distribution when you retire or you're disabled or you terminate your employment. So at the beginning, I said we were going to cover some important dates. And this is when are you eligible for the plan and when do you start to receive things? So let's assume I'm going to be hired for CHC on July 15th of this year. So July 15th of 2020. And if I'm age 21 and I work at least 1,000 hours in that period, I'm going to be eligible for the ESOP on July 15th, 2021. But when do I enter the plan? So my actual entry date for the plan is January 1st, 2021. So again, my hire date is July 15th. My eligibility date is a year later on July 15th, but I actually enter the plan on January 1st of 2021. So I'm eligible to be in the plan in 2021. Now the ESOP is always valued a year later, okay? So I entered the plan on January 1st, 2021, okay? They're going to do that independent valuation. It usually occurs sometime between February and June. And then in the June-July timeframe, shares will be allocated to my account based upon that calculation we showed you before, based upon your compensation and what the value of the shares are. And those are allocated to my account. And then I will be able to see that on my first statement on July 2022. Another important date is vesting. So remember I told you that in the ESOP, you don't receive all of your account balance if you left before 6 years. So 6 years is the vesting schedule. And that's really important for the ESOP because as employee owners, you want to make sure that the people that are working with you care just as much about the company as you do to help you have that great impact on the share value. And we want good people here. So again, there is a vesting period in the ESOP and it's 6 years and it goes back to date of hire. So using that July 15th, 2020 date of hire, you are vested on July 15th, 2026. Retirement. This is what we're all looking forward to. So now let's assume that I was hired on January 1st of 2000. My retirement date is July 10th of 2019. Okay, and you can retire at age 65 or age 60 with 15 years of vesting. So I retired last July. The plan year ends December 31st, 2019. I do receive a final allocation in the year 2020 for the plan year 2019. So because I worked in 2019, I'm going to receive some shares based upon the compensation that I earned in 2019. Once those shares are allocated, I will receive a form that tells me that I'm eligible for retirement. If I choose to take a distribution, I can start that distribution and I will receive that payment over 5 years starting in December of 2020. So the ESOP, along with your 401k, provide an unbeatable opportunity to shape your retirement and your future. We really appreciate you watching and taking the time to watch this video about your all-employee meeting. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Donna Cronenberg or any of us on your ESOP, on your Strategic Retirement Partner Advisor team, myself, Shannon Maloney, Steve Nybo, Todd White, or Steve Fagioli. We're all here to make sure that you're able to have the future you dream about. Thank you and have a great 2020.